Today, we're announcing the steps to carry out our first project under AUKUS, developing Australia's conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarine capacity. And I want to be clear. I want to be clear to everyone from the outset, right off the bat, so there's no confusion or misunderstanding on this critical point. These subs are powered, not nuclear-armed subs. They're nuclear-powered, not nuclear-armed.
Okay, President Biden in San Diego yesterday announcing a landmark agreement with Great Britain and Australia to develop nuclear-powered attack submarines to strengthen Australia's position in the Pacific Ocean. For more on this, let's welcome in the author of The Coming Collapse of China, Gordon Chang, and retired Air Force Brigadier General and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt. Great to see you both on this Tuesday morning. Gordon, we'll start with you. Just your reaction to that announcement yesterday from the president.
Well, it's a great step forward, but it's very late. Remember, this is 18 months after the announcement of the AUKUS deal. And we're talking about the building of submarines, which means we're talking about a severely troubled Navy, which has had problems across the board. Fortunately, not as bad in its sub-building program as in other areas. But this is a Navy that has no sense of urgency and is run by a lot of politicians. And really, when we're talking about this, we also got to remember that the rest of our armed services, with the exception of the Marine Corps, are in distress as well. So we need to have this sense that timeliness is important because these subs are not going to come online anytime soon, and China poses a threat now.
Okay, General, take us through what's going on here. The Wall Street Journal was some reporting over the weekend about China basically brokering a big deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran. The deal signals a sharp increase in Beijing's influence in a region where the U.S. has long been the dominant power. How big a win was that for China?
Oh, it's a massive win, Rob. It's a multi-layered approach. They get about 4 wins out of one move on the board. One of them is they're going to isolate Israel and they're going to create more havoc in the Middle East. Another is that they're going to spread their influence on their Belt and Road Initiative. And they needed, with the BRICS, this is the massive prize here. They needed Saudi Arabia's compliance and help in getting rid of the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency and ushering in what will be a BRICS, or Brazil, Russia, India, China consortium currency backed by gold. And that will absolutely change the strategic board with China. And it's an incredible move.
Good point, General Gordon. To pick up on what the General just mentioned there, President Xi in China has kept his foot on the gas here. The Wall Street Journal with some reporting just this morning that President Xi Jinping in China is going to, wrong screen tear, but the Wall Street Journal also has that report that we'll get to in a moment. But President Xi is apparently going to speak with President Zelensky in Ukraine for the first time since the war broke out. Your reaction to that? It appears, at least based on this reporting, that President Xi is serious about brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine.
I think that he's serious in helping Russia. Really, what he's also serious about is pressing the gas to the accelerator. And the reason is that he's had this big success in Saudi Arabia and Iran brokering peace, as General Holt has just said. And I think he wants to press the advantage to say, well, I can also broker peace with Russia and Ukraine. I'm not so sure that he can do that because he's been so much on the side of Russia. But he's trying to say that to the world, look, the United States is finished and you have to look to China. And as General Holt has been saying, this is multidimensional, it includes our currency.
Yeah. Okay. Now to that headline there, also the Wall Street Journal. And this caught my attention, General, because we were talking about this last week as well. So investigators are puzzling over a yacht, a big sailboat's role in the Nord Stream explosion. Authorities probe whether the leisure boat's crew could have carried out an attack on the natural gas pipeline. And when you look at the boat, I mean, it looks like you'd go out and you'd go for a sail and have a drink and go back to the mooring. It doesn't look like anything that's pulling espionage. What was your reaction to that?
My reaction is that they really just don't care whether the public buys narratives like this or not. This is absurd. This is just nonsense. You have to go to a lot of schooling to do underwater demolition. You need a lot of heavy equipment. It's very noticeable what you're up to, and throwing people into this, and then even saying, oh, and the crew left behind these passports, so we know who they are. It's just ridiculous, and it's not serious. And that's why China wants to come in with Zelensky and fill power vacuums like this because they see we're weak, we're not engaging in diplomacy, we're not showing a strong hand, and power loves a vacuum, and they intend to fill it.
Gordon, 15 seconds. Donald Trump said that he is the only president that can prevent World War III yesterday in a campaign speech in Iowa. Your reaction to that? That's where we are right now.
Well, I think anyone can prevent World War III, but certainly Biden is not. And that really is the critical issue because Biden is the president.
Yeah, just amazing that presidential candidates are even using that as a talking point right now in Joe Biden's America. Gordon Chang, General Blaine Holt will pick this up again soon. Thank you.